from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, February 28th. So welcome to the last day of February. We have the Moon in Aquarius all day. Now this definitely puts us in a different headspace. We're definitely caught up in our mind space. We are thinking futuristically. We're recognizing where it is we have to open ourselves up to new ways of doing things in our life if we want a different result. So we are going to feel this Aquarian energy really put an emphasis on our central nervous system. We might have anxiety. We might feel restless at times. But because we're also wrapping up the life lessons that February was meant to teach us, there is that applied intensity kind of overlying the particular energy that the Moon in Aquarius wants to teach us as well. We are a little bit emotionally detached with the Moon in Aquarius. We are acting as the observer. We are trying to improve and better our state of self, our state of emotions, our mental state, and of course, our reality. Many of us being illuminated to things that we just do not want to do anymore. We do not want to be in this situation anymore. And that Moon in Aquarius is going to help us see the bigger, broader perspective on what it is that we need to do to bust free from some of these restrictions. So there are 10 different aspects taking place here today. 7 of them involve the moon. We are getting the majority of the day in the Moon in Aquarius, but the moon will be going void of course around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be moving into Piscean energy around midnight. This is important because we are moving into the new moon window. We are going to have the new moon in Pisces on the 2nd, and this is definitely intensifying the darkness, the shadow parts that we have to consider within ourselves in order to figure out what kind of intentions we need to set in order to create a brand new framework on what it is that we want to be experiencing. So the moon right out of the gate is going to semi-square Neptune. And this is a little bit of a tension point between what it is that we feel like we need to do in our physical realms, in our emotional state, to better align us with downloads coming from our higher self, coming from our intuition. Now, this is also a great energy, although it kind of feels tension-filled and frustrated. It is a good energy for us to kind of have a mental block to think about some of the things that we have to open our minds up to, new ways of doing things. That Neptune energy wants to bring in our highest level of creativity to come up with some solutions to some long-term standing problems. The moon is going to bump into the sun, and the way that this happens is likely going to trigger and activate a situation in our physical realms, in our realities, that's really going to show us the gap between where it is that we've been and where it is that we want to go. The moon very much is attached to the past, attached to old emotions, to old memories. The sun, of course, is in Pisces, illuminating for us where it is that we need to focus our energy, where it is that we have to tap into our dreams, tap into our creativity, tap into our higher selves in order to understand where it is that we need to pour our energy into. This particular aspect, again, being activated through a physical disruption in our day, is definitely going to leave us observing what it is we need to move away from and what it is that we need to move closer to. The moon sextiles Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. A sextile is a beautiful energy. It's a harmonizing energy to where it is that we are healing certain aspects of ourselves, of our emotions, of our mental plane, and of course, our physical realities. This because we just had the moon aspecting the sun and kind of illuminating for us the gap between where it is that we're at and where it is that we want to be. This tells me that we are coming up with some really good ideas. Some really good insights are coming into our crown, and we are definitely seeing where it is that we can solve some of the issues that we now know are the main issues, the main problems preventing us from actually moving forward. Mars trines the true node. Mars rules over our physical energy, our will, our determination, our passion, our aggression, even our anger, if need be. And a trine is a good energy. It means that we're taking one step forward. The true node being our soul's destiny, the path in which we have to walk in order to actually get to our soul's purpose, tells me that we are making a physical step. We are taking a physical action in our physical realms to align with moving forward. This is a good sign. Now, granted, we are still in the new moon window. We aren't really encouraged to make a huge leap until we start seeing the moon illuminate in the sky again after the new moon takes place. But granted, we've been given an opportunity to take action, and you best believe Mars, who's been in Capricorn energy, who's had to be calculated and strategic and thinking about the play-by-play before actually taking action, he's going to take advantage of any kind of opportunity or window to actually progress and move closer to where it is that we desire to be. The moon is going to square Uranus, and this is definitely going to put a lot of pressure in our mental plane. This, especially because Uranus rules over Aquarian energy, most of the time, if this was a good aspect, we would be downloaded with insight and a beautiful idea that we could actually work with. Right now, the moon squaring Uranus, this means that emotionally we're a little bit confused. We went ahead, we took an action, we moved forward, we took that opportunity to make an advancement in our physical realms, and now we're like, now what? Now what do we do? I just made a pretty big step for me, even though it was a baby step in the grand scheme of things, and now I don't know where to go. The answer is always stay put. Do not backtrack. Do not take 2 steps backwards after you take 1 step forward. That is the dark force energy's agenda. They don't want you moving forward. So every single time that we take a progressive move forward in the right path, we're going to get confused. We're going to have backlash. We're going to have negative thoughts intrude our mind space to make us kind of step back. We don't want to do that, but it doesn't feel good. We just have to stay put until another opportunity to move forward actually presents itself. The moon bumps into Jupiter in not the nicest way. This is going to activate a situation in our physical realms that is going to be super overwhelming, especially emotionally, especially due to the fact that we just made a move stepping forward. Now, Jupiter, he wants us to grow. He wants us to expand our thoughts, our emotions, our realm of possibilities. He also overwhelms us to the degree that many of us are going to want to just crawl up in a ball and escape altogether. There's going to come with a lot of pressure here because Jupiter is all about more. What do I want more of, right? What do I need more of? What do I deserve more of? But at this particular point, focusing on all the things that we want more of is actually creating a negative situation for us because we're realizing all the things that we don't currently have. We can slip into that scarcity mentality super easy, which will only overwhelm us further. So again, pace yourself, but you've already done the work. You've taken 1 step forward, just stay put. Let the confusion wash over you because with confusion comes huge amounts of clarity. The moon is going to go ahead and come up to, conjunct, sit next to both Mercury and Saturn. Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane, trying to piece together the logical, practical steps that we need to take in order to make a move and moving forward. Saturn, the lord of karma, very focused on the roles and responsibilities in our lives, the structures, the systems, the foundations in our lives that we likely would have been illuminated when the moon was in Capricorn that we're no longer in alignment with. This Saturn energy wants us to improve. It wants us to boss up. It wants us to take the next step, the next phase into rebuilding the elements in our lives that we're no longer in alignment with, that feel heavy, that feel weighted. We want to lighten the vibe. We want to lighten the roles and responsibilities in our lives, and we want to implement a new system, a new foundation in our lives so that we don't feel like the tasks and the chores that we have in life are sucking the life out of us. Now, Venus is going to go ahead and trine the true node. This is a beautiful energy because, of course, Venus, ruler of love, ruler of worth, of money, of future plans. She is about to come out of her shadow period. She's been traveling with Mars. Mars, the masculine energy, has been leading the way. They're on the same page. They have a new worth. They have a new value. They know what they want in love. They know what they want in relationships. And Venus is currently letting Mars kind of take the lead to aggress them, push them further down the path than Venus can do right now. Because again, she wants to sit back and let everything come to her. Mars is like, no, 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 no. If you know what you want, you got to go after it. So Venus trining the true node means that emotionally, we know what we want. We know what we need. We know what we deserve. We're in alignment with our higher self. And we definitely are starting to see what it is that we have to do, especially in our personal relationships, in order to actually arrive at a certain point that we've been dreaming about. Now, many of us, like I've been talking about, many of us are in relationships that we have no business being in. Venus, as she approaches the point where she's free and clear of her shadow, where she's free and clear of the fog that she's been in, she's going to wake up. And if she is still surrounded with people that she knows she has no business being around, she will cut them off, kick them out, slam the door in order to create a space for the new like-minded soul family members to actually find her. So the fact that this trine is taking place, this is a blending of energies, recognizing where it is that we have to take action in our lives, where it is that we're being called to pursue a new path. And many of us are going to find that with the people in our lives, our personal relationships, whether or not they are fair in the energy exchange or whether they're unbalanced and need to go. The last thing that we have taking place here today is the sun making an aspect with Chiron, not the nicest way. So let me tell you, this is likely going to come from the personal relationships that we know we have to tackle, that we know we either have to cut off or ask a little bit more of. And this particular element, especially after Venus goes ahead and trines the true node, the sun bumping into Chiron in this way is definitely going to shine a bright light on the wounds, on what needs to be healed. And it is going to be a little bit of an uncomfortable situation to present ourselves in a raw and vulnerable state to ask for what it is that we feel that we're lacking from our specific individuals that we deem to be of worth, of value, and stand back to see whether or not they are going to rise the occasion and meet us where it is that we're at, or totally step back and, of course, show us where it is that we actually stand in their life. So although the wounds are going to be exposed, this needs to happen in order for us to recognize what actually needs to be healed.